Despia is an archetype of Dark Fairy main deck monsters and Light Fiend fusion monsters, as well as one Light Spellcaster Synchro monster that focuses on quickly fusion summoning its various boss monsters. Branded refers to the spells and traps that support the Despia archetype, Fallen of Albaz, and the level 8 fusion monsters that use Albaz as one of the materials, or Albaz Dragon fusions for short. Together, these cards create the deck Branded Despia. 3 of the main deck monsters provide advantage when they're used for fusion summons and are either sent to the graveyard or banished. For the basic game plan, your primary searcher is Aluber, the Jester of Despia, which searches any branded spell or trap upon being normal or special summoned. Your number 1 search target is Branded Fusion, which lets you summon a fusion monster that uses Fallen of Albaz's material by dumping the required materials from your hand, main deck, or field into the graveyard. Therefore, it's also critical you max out on Fallen of Albaz as well. You can go into your Albaz Dragon fusions with him through either Branded Fusion or by his own super polymerization-like effect. It certainly wouldn't hurt to have Super Poly itself in your deck too. From there, you can summon either Albion the Branded Dragon or Lubellion the Searing Dragon, after which you would use their effects to fusion summon Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon. Mirror Jade's effect can be used to dump more copies of Albion into the graveyard to search more branded spells and traps, which completes the deck's resource loop. I should also mention the Virtuous Monsters. They're a group of level 4 light spellcaster tuners with 1500 attack and defense that interact with Fallen of Albaz to help fusion summon the boss monsters and recover your resources. These are also the tuners meant to summon and interact with Despian Lulu Lilith, the new synchro monster I mentioned. However, you could also cheat out Lulu Lilith on the opponent's turn by using Grand Guignol the Dusk Dragon's effect, so you don't have to worry about the fusion-only restriction that Branded Fusion and Opening place on you. Next, the Bestial Monsters work very well with this deck too. They're a group of light and dark dragons that banish other light and dark monsters from either graveyard to special summon themselves on either player's turn if the opponent controls a monster. On top of being fantastic hand traps, they can search out your dragon monsters or branded spells and traps, and they're good fusion materials for the Albaz Dragon fusions and the Despia fusions that can trigger their effects when sent to the graveyard. Lastly, I personally like using 1 copy each of Dark Lord Morningstar and the first Dark Lord as tech choices, since Despia is made of Dark Fairy monsters. When it comes to the branded spells and traps, there are a lot of them, more than I can fit into this video, but Branded Fusion is by far the most important one. You should also consider using Despia, Theater of the Branded, as a fusion field spell and as recovery for your fusions in the graveyard. Branded in red as a quick play fusion spell you can use on either player's turn. Branded Opening as a Despia searcher and as protection for your fusions from being destroyed by card effects. Branded in High Spirits as a way to dump fusions from your extra deck to the graveyard and search Albaz, or a monster that lists Albaz in its card text. And Branded Banishment as a trap card version of Super Poly. If you're playing Bestials, then Branded Beast is a good choice as well. You may also want to run Branded Etude if you're using any synchro monsters. This is my current deck list in Master Duel. Feel free to copy it yourself and play around with it. As for playing against them, your best bet is to stop their combos from ever getting off the ground. You could negate Aluber's effect with hand traps like Ash Blossom, Effect Veiler, or Infinite Impermanence to stop him from searching the branded back row, and you can negate Branded Fusion with Ash Blossom too. You can use super polymerization yourself on the opponent's monsters to summon cards like Starving Venom Fusion Dragon or Predaplant Dragostapelia, if you play a fusion deck yourself, and you can also use floodgates like Dimensional Barrier to lock them out of fusion summoning. Failing all of that, you could just drop Nibiru or a Kaiju on them if they already got their boss monsters out.